The United Kingdom is indeed threatening Russia.
You're grunting for nothing.
More precisely, it warns Putin that joking with the West is a bad idea. After all, while in the warm Russian TV studios, they threaten the EU
and divide Europe.
Possible.
Who needs it?
Possible.
Great idea.
Europe, meanwhile, is getting ready and hinting in various ways that Russians do not want to see their anger. And indeed, Britain's patience is already running out.
One Trident submarine is capable of very quickly incinerating 40 Russian cities. This is a big food for thought for Putin. Oh, and it should make any world leader wary.
What submarines are we talking about? What power are the British hiding, and what can the Royal Navy of the foggy Albion surprise us with in general? Stay tuned for all this and more in just a moment. The Trident program mentioned above specifically comprises a total of 4 Vanguard-class submarines, known in Russian as Avangard. The first submarine of this type was commissioned in 1993 and the last one in 1999. They replaced the 4 Resolution-class nuclear submarines, which are strategic assets. The latter had to be replaced because they could not carry the new armament that the British had chosen for themselves. The discussion is actually about the Trident II, an American ballistic missile designed for launch from nuclear-powered submarines. And it was precisely these that the British were referring to in their warning. Fun fact, Trident translates as Trident. This missile was adopted by the British Navy in 1995. They are deployed on 4 Vanguard submarines, which we have already mentioned. One submarine is capable of carrying up to approximately 16 ballistic missiles, each equipped with 12 independently targeted warheads. This means that just one submarine is capable of launching over 190 warheads in total in a single salvo. However, there is an important nuance here. According to the current UK policy, the number of warheads on board each submarine is limited to a maximum of 48 units, as per the current policy. However, if we are projecting a war scenario, we need to talk about the maximum capacity. British military officials call the Trident missiles, which have already undergone nearly 200 successful tests, the most reliable weapon system in the world. However, the British have had failures. Let's not hide it. Back in 24, during tests, unfortunately, a Trident missile fell into the ocean near the launch site. Previous tests in the year 16 were also unsuccessful. At that time, the missile launched but deviated from its course. However, this is not something incredible. During tests, failures inevitably happen. And when it comes to a missile that has historically proven its capabilities for over 3 decades, it's not worth fixating on a few failures. And the Russians probably won't want to test their luck. It will be enough to see the following graphic. Enthusiasts decided to show in detail what would happen if a Trident nuclear missile attacked Moscow. We won't dwell on this. We will just note that if it struck the center of the Russian capital, all buildings within an 11-kilometer radius would be destroyed. As for the characteristics of the Trident, the American missile is 3-stage. The launch mass is 59 tons. The Trident is capable of flying over 11,000 kilometers. But this is on the condition that the missile will have a reduced number of warheads. If it is fully loaded, the range of the Trident will be reduced to 7,800 kilometers. The accuracy of guidance, according to calculations by American specialists, can be 45 and 90 meters respectively. For a missile that incinerates everything within a radius of over 10 kilometers, this is quite precise. At the same time, it is claimed that the Trident is capable of effectively striking small, highly protected targets underground bunkers and silo launch installations. By the way, this weaponry may soon become even more deadly. The company that developed the Trident has announced the creation of an upgraded version of the ballistic missiles. According to the plans, the new missile is expected to remain in service, until the year 2084. These developments will be carried out in particular in the interests of the United Kingdom. Therefore, they will receive it into their arsenal very promptly. In addition to the Vanguard-class submarines, the British can also boast the Astute-class submarines. As of 2014, these submarines were considered the most modern type of submarines in the Royal Navy. By September 2024, there were 5 such submarines in service. 2 more are under construction. But the British fleet can surprise not only with submarines. They also have, for example, the brand new Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers. Literally, brand new. The first has been in service since 2017, and the second destroyer since 2019. And this is where the British have already surpassed the Russians. There are no brand new or even relatively new aircraft carriers in Russia. They can only boast about their Admiral Kuznetsov to somehow cover up their failures. The Russians even tried to compare these 2 aircraft carriers.
The aircraft carrier is capable of reaching a speed of 25 knots. That's approximately 46 kilometers per hour. The fuel reserves are enough to cover 10,000 nautical miles, which is 18,500 kilometers. The ship can sail the seas for 292 days, carrying out combat missions without stopping to replenish supplies. The aircraft-carrying cruiser reaches a speed of 29 knots and can cover a distance of over 15,000 kilometers at an economical speed. In terms of autonomy, the Kuznetsov significantly lags behind the British ship. It is only 45 days.
But as already noted in the comments under this comparison, the speed of the Kuznetsov is, let's say, a relative concept.
The maximum speed of the Kuznetsov is generally dependent on the speed of the ship towing it.
In fact, such a comparison indeed even looks somewhat silly. Comparing a new innovative aircraft carrier with an old Russian tub is something that truly knowledgeable experts wouldn't even consider. As for the Queen Elizabeth, it is undoubtedly the largest and most formidable warship that has ever existed in the British fleet. The port's waters even had to be deepened specifically for the modern aircraft carrier. It is 280 meters long, and just on the flight deck alone, you could fit 470 of the famous British double-decker buses. And speaking of aircraft, there will be 40 on board. Most of these spots will be taken by powerful F-35 fighters. The British spent about $4 billion on it, but it will pay off with years of service. According to plans, the aircraft carrier will be in service until the year 2067. And although the British fleet has lost its former power over the past decades, it is now on the path to revival. The United Kingdom is actively enhancing its naval capabilities, and it can already be said that they are on the right track. What do you think about the UK's naval capabilities? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video. And be sure to subscribe to our new Arsenal channel so you don't miss all the most interesting content.